Hello guys, welcome to the first episode of Badminton Rants. I'm going to make these when I am stuck in traffic. Basically, as you can see by the title, today's episode is going to be talking about there is no such thing as a cheap shuttlecock. Let me explain what I mean. So we can take for example like pretty common XP2 silvers. So some people might say these are expensive, but I would say these are a pretty baseline average shuttlecock you can buy in the Philippines. So we'll take them. So as Shopee says, right, this seller selling them for 766 pesos for 12, so for one tube, which if you do the math turns out to be 58.3 pesos per shuttlecock. Now let's compare that to an expensive set of shuttlecocks. So because these aren't really commonly found in the Philippines, I went to E78, which is in Hong Kong, a pretty big retailer. So as you can see, they sell the Aerosense of 50s for 2,000 pesos. So these are like the best of the best, used in BWF tournaments, international play at the highest level, literally the best shuttlecocks money can buy. And when you do the math, right, 2,000 whatever divided by 12, you get a rate of around 166 pesos per tube or per shuttlecock, which is roughly three times the cost of an XP2. So I know what you're thinking, right? Three times the rate of a shuttlecock is kind of ridiculous, right? But let's think about it and let's do some logical thinking, okay? So let's look at some numbers, right? So I made these numbers up after having played with bow shuttles for like a long time, right? So on average for me, 15 minutes of regular play or 10 minutes of intense play is usually what one XP2 shuttle can handle before it's really unusable. And then for me, an hour of play or 45 minutes of intense play for the AS50. Those are the numbers that I have gotten in my experience in the last year or so. So if we do the numbers right, that means you need four shuttles for 1 hour of play of regular play. So that's 233 pesos. Or just one AS50, 158.67 pesos. So that's about, if we do some quick math, about a 70 peso savings. So the gap gets even larger if you're playing intensively or at high level, right? Where the shuttles are replaced more often. The feathers break because of the power, that kind of thing. So at tense play, you would need six shuttles to play for an hour. That's around 350 pesos, or one and a quarter AS50s, right? So just under 200 pesos. So if we zoom out and I think of the bigger picture here, basically what I'm saying is there is no such thing as a cheap shuttlecock, because if you buy cheap shuttlecocks, you're going to end up replacing them faster, and then you're going to have to end up paying more and in the first place, and then you're also going to have to carry around more shuttles anyways. For me, one tube of AS50s will last me weeks, if not months, because I'm not using my shuttles that often, but when I do, I can usually just replace them and put them back in the tube, and they're good for the next session, right? And then if they get too torn up for that, then they become training shuttles for my coaching sessions. So they last me a lot longer than if I were to buy XP2s or airplane reds, that kind of thing. But it all comes down to that basic idea of quality versus quantity, right? So uh, just consider this video next time you're trying to buy some shuttlecocks, right? Instead of trying to find the cheapest feather shuttlecock you can and then having to replace it within 3 minutes because a feather broke, try looking for something a little bit more higher quality, right? Hope you guys like these kind of videos. It is a bit ranty, that's the whole point of this. But yeah, hope it helped. Bye. One last thing, I know I already exited out, but this is something important that I forgot to mention. There's also the subjective increase of quality of play when you're using higher level shuttles. And what do I mean by that, right? So the AS50s, right, or any high-end shuttlecock are going to be made with better feathers and better cork. So what does that mean for you as a player, right? So when you're hitting the shuttlecock, right, since the cork is of better quality, it's going to feel better on your string bed. The vibrations are going to be more pleasant to deal with, right? The shuttlecock will be more responsive. Like if you want to place it into that back corner and really clear it, it's going to go there. If you want to drop it tight to the net, it's going to go there. If you want to drive it past the front player, it's going to go there. You get the point, right? This also means in the front, if you're really into spinning net shots or tight net shots, precision, a good cork and a good feather are going to help you do that, right? And so overall, this quality of play is going to lead to better rallies, better gameplay, just a more enjoyable, fun experience. Because at the end of the day, right, badminton is a game, right? And then these things, of course, you can't put like a number value on them because there's no way to measure these things. I mean, there actually is, but that's besides the point. This is also something you have to take into consideration. Do you want to use like four or six shuttles and have a mediocre experience and have to replace them all the time? Or do you want to use a few shuttlecocks that are a little bit more expensive up front, but will save you money in the long run and also play better the entire time you're using them? I hope my case is clear. Let me know what you guys think about the shuttlecocks in the Philippines. Sorry, I just blanked there. Okay, bye for now.